In a world growing louder and more chaotic by the day, perhaps what we truly seek isn't more information, but a moment of silence to return to ourselves. The Dharma journey is not here to teach you something new. It is here to help you remember what has always been within you: stillness, clarity, and the quiet light of awareness. Here, you won't find lofty teachings wrapped in complex words. You'll find simple, powerful Zen stories and timeless Buddhist insights, spoken in the language of the heart, so anyone can listen, reflect, and begin their own journey inward. Each video is a doorway. Each word is a step. Each quiet moment is an invitation to awaken, to let go, and to live more deeply. If you've ever felt tired from chasing things outside yourself, if your heart has ever longed for peace that doesn't depend on circumstances, then give yourself a few minutes each day to return home. Because awakening is not a destination. It's how you walk. Welcome to the Dharma journey. A space for inner transformation, where the journey doesn't go outward, but inward. And that journey might just change your life. Introduction, a timeless question with no easy answer. Those who walk the path of Dharma have likely heard the saying: all phenomena arise from the mind, all experiences are shaped by consciousness. But hearing this is one thing, understanding it, seeing it, and living it, is an entirely different journey. So then, what is the mind? Some say the mind is emotion, thought, feeling, or intention. But if we observe carefully, all of these are in constant flux. Joy arises and fades, thoughts come and go, hopes rise and fall. These are impermanent. How can they be the true mind? Others point to the heart in the chest and say, "This is my mind." But this fleshly heart, though it keeps the body alive, is merely a biological organ, without awareness, without direction. When life ends, the heart decays along with the body. The true mind cannot perish with the physical form. Some equate mind with the brain, our center of logic and perception. But if you've ever sat in true stillness, long enough to see, you'll realize thoughts are just clouds drifting across the sky, while the sky itself remains vast and unchanging. The true mind is not the passing thought, but the space that allows thought to arise. So, where is this mind? No one can dissect the body and point to, "This is where the mind lives." It has no shape, no boundary, no color, yet it is present in every breath, every glance, every quiet moment of being. You cannot see it, but everything you see arises through it. Have you ever sat silently and felt a current moving within, wordless, formless, thoughtless, just a silent knowing? No one taught you this, yet you know it's there. That is a whisper of the mind. Most of us live unaware of where our life truly flows from. The mind we commonly use, to judge, compare, react, is only the surface mind. It's like waves rippling across the lake. But the true mind is the still water beneath. Only when we stop chasing distractions and illusions do we begin to glimpse what has always been waiting below. The mind does not dwell inside the body, but the body arises from the mind. The mind is not within the world, but the world is a projection of mind. To see the world and realize the mind, that is the beginning of awakening. To see through the mind and no longer be deceived by appearances, that is the return to source. So the question, what is the mind? Where is the mind? Is not asked to gain a definition. It is asked to ring a bell deep within you, to stir something still and sincere, a longing to return home. You may have listened to many talks, read countless scriptures, but unless you pause and look deeply into your own mind, it remains just knowledge. Only when you sit in silence and observe each thought, each emotion, each attachment, and dare to ask, who is thinking? Who is wanting? Who is watching? Then, and only then, does the question, what is mind, become a doorway to awakening. Now, let me share with you a story. A story called, The Mirror Without a Face. Long ago, in the quiet folds of the mountain ranges, There lived a wandering beggar named Lu. He had spent most of his life searching, not for gold, not for fame, but for a true answer to a question that tormented him. What is the mind? Where does it dwell? He had studied scriptures, listened to many teachers, and filled countless notebooks. But still, within him, confusion remained like a fog that would not lift. One day, he heard whispers of an old hermit who lived high atop Snowy Peak, someone who had not stepped down from the mountain in decades. It was said, "This sage does not give teachings. But if your heart is sincere, he will offer you an object that allows you to see your own mind." Lu climbed for days. Through rain and wind, hunger and doubt. He finally arrived at a simple hut hidden among pine trees. The hermit was there, an old man with white hair, tending a fire with calm hands. Lu bowed low and asked, "Please. I have come far seeking only this. What is the mind? And where can I find it?" The hermit said nothing. Instead, he handed Lu an ancient mirror. Its surface was fogged, its reflection barely visible. "This is the mirror I've used all my life," the hermit said softly. "Take it. Sit somewhere still. Gaze into it until you see the mind itself." Lu was puzzled. The mirror looked useless, distorted, faded. He almost laughed. But something about the old man's eyes silenced his doubt. So he took the mirror, descended the mountain, and began the inward journey. On the first day, he sat and stared at the mirror. He saw nothing but a blur of his face, twisted and unclear. Frustration rose in him like fire. But he remembered. Just sit. Just observe. In the second week, the image in the mirror disappeared, and instead, his own thoughts began to rise: fear, memory, impatience, regret. He didn't push them away. He simply watched. By the third week, even thoughts began to fade. There was only a subtle light in the mirror and a vast silence inside him. And then, it struck him, not as an idea, but as a realization too deep for words. This mirror is not for seeing my face, but for dissolving it. He climbed back to the hut, bowed again, and whispered, "Master, I did not see my mind in the mirror. But I stopped trying." And in that stillness, something else saw everything, without needing eyes. The hermit smiled. This mirror does not reflect images. It reflects illusions. When there is nothing left to reflect, then the mind appears. But not as a thing, not as a thought. As knowing itself. The old man turned and walked into the forest, his voice drifting like mist. The mind is not inside the body. The body arises within the mind. It cannot be found, because it is what you already are. Lu stood in silence, still holding the old mirror. But now, it no longer mattered. Because he understood. The mirror was never meant to reveal a face. It was meant to reveal the one who sees, beyond all faces, beyond all thoughts, in perfect stillness. 2. The false mind and the true mind, the root distinction we must see. On the path of cultivation, if we fail to distinguish between the false mind and the true mind, no matter how diligently we practice, we remain caught in delusion. Why? Because we are using a deluded mind to seek what is real, chasing illusions while hoping to attain truth. This is why. From the very beginning, one must clearly recognize, the mind we use every day is not our true mind. So what is the false mind? It is the mind that constantly thinks, judges, discriminates, and clings. It is the mind that chases after all external phenomena. This mind is not real, because it is impermanent. It rises and falls with each moment. This is the mind that ordinary beings rely on daily. It is the mind that reacts immediately to what it hears or sees. A word, a thought, a memory, each triggers an emotion, a judgment, a story. This mind is a stream of endless reaction, happy one moment, frustrated the next, loving now, rejecting later. It's like waves on the surface of the sea, ceaseless and without stability. We live our entire lives following this false mind, unaware. From the moment we wake, we begin to worry and plan, what to eat, what to do, who said what might happen tomorrow, or what went wrong yesterday. These thoughts appear so often and so vividly that we mistake them for our true self. We live as if caught in a dream, laughing when the dream is pleasant, crying when it turns sour, yet never realizing we are dreaming. That is the nature of the false mind. It is unreal, yet it fools us completely. It is like a layer of fog covering a mirror, preventing us from seeing the luminous clarity underneath. But recognizing the false mind alone is not enough. We must go further, to turn around and see who it is that is dreaming. Only then can we begin to wake up. So what is the true mind? The true mind is unborn and undying, formless and pure, eternally still and luminous. It doesn't chase after anything, doesn't cling to anything. It is not disturbed by changing conditions. It does not rise or fall, come or go. It doesn't need to speak or think, yet it always knows, always abides. We can't find the true mind through effort or analysis. The more we try to grasp it with the false mind, the further away it seems. Why? Because the true mind is not something, it cannot be seen, touched, or conceptualized. It cannot be sought, but it can be recognized when we let go. It is the stillness beneath the noise, the space in which thoughts arise and disappear, the light that shines even when clouds pass by. The true mind is not located inside the body, nor is it outside the body. It has no fixed place, and yet there is no place where it is not. It is like space, formless, silent, invisible, but without it, nothing could exist. The false mind is like the clouds. The true mind is the sky. Clouds may come and go, take on many shapes, but the sky remains unchanged. Waves may crash on the ocean's surface, but the depths remain calm. Those who meditate, chant, or study the Dharma, yet do not return to recognize their true mind, are like those drawing water and pouring it into sand. It vanishes with no result. True realization comes when the false mind becomes quiet, and in the silence, the original awareness reveals itself. It's not that you see the true mind, but when the sense of you disappears, the true mind sees itself. People often ask, where is the true mind? The answer is, it is nowhere, and yet everywhere. When you stop chasing, when you stop resisting, and turn inward without seeking, it is already here. Look, without your eyes. Listen, without your ears. Live, not from habit, but from presence. The true mind is not something you can speak about, define, or transmit. It can only be realized, directly and personally. It's vast, silent, and completely free. Just stop. Let it be revealed. Free. The mind manifests all phenomena, one deluded thought, and 1,000 appearances arise. All phenomena, whether the falling of a single leaf or the turbulence of your entire life, arise from one source. The mind. You could be sitting quietly, alone in a silent room. No noise, no movement, no distractions. And yet, your mind keeps moving. Images appear. Memories surface. Worries bubble up. Hopes flicker. Even in perfect stillness, your inner world is never truly silent. Where do these appearances come from? Not from outside, but from within. The Avatamsaka Sutra, Flower Garland Sutra, teaches. All phenomena arise from the mind, all transformations occur through consciousness. We don't live in a fixed external reality. We live in the world as shaped by our mind. The mind is like a vast screen. What is projected onto it depends on its clarity. When the mind is calm and clear, what appears is harmonious, peaceful. When it is disturbed, the same external world seems hostile, uncertain, or threatening. One person may see beauty in the rain, another sees gloom. The difference lies not in the rain, but in the mind. The world has no fixed essence. It reflects the state of the one who is perceiving it. One awakened thought, and the world is transformed. Suffering becomes understanding. Restlessness becomes mindfulness. Ordinary life becomes extraordinary. But one diluted thought, and we fall into division, good and bad, gain and loss, mine and yours. From that one split, thousands of thoughts arise, clinging, comparing, fearing. The inner noise grows louder, and we lose sight of the quiet, open space from which everything arises. A single thought, barely noticed, can birth an entire illusion, a life built on reactivity, assumption, and longing. We chase shadows believing they are real, unaware we are the ones casting them. That's why the Buddha did not teach us to search for truth outside ourselves. He didn't point to distant heavens or mountaintop retreats. He simply said, "Turn your hearing inward and listen to your own nature." It is not about listening with your ears, but with your full presence. Can you listen to your mind, not judge it, not change it, but simply witness it? To see the arising of thoughts. To feel the stir of emotion. To notice the surge of reaction. And instead of following them, just be aware. This awareness is not something to develop. It's already there. It's what allows you to notice your experience right now. It's not something to do, it's what is. The mind is not far. It's not hidden in books, nor buried in sacred chants. It's here, reading these words. But if you pause and ask, who is reading? Where is the one who sees these words? Look quietly. And you may begin to feel it. That the true mind has no fixed form, no name, no boundary. It is everywhere. And nowhere. And yet, without it, nothing could be. For, where is the mind? The mind is the entire universe. When we ask, where is the mind, we are using the deluded mind to search for the true one. But the true mind does not dwell within the limits of three-dimensional space. It cannot be located in any fixed place, not in the head, the chest, or even the beating heart. The mind is not a thing we can point to. It's not inside, nor is it outside. It doesn't reside anywhere, yet it is present everywhere. It exists in every grain of dust, in the rustling of leaves. In a passing glance. But the moment you try to grasp it, it slips away. Mahayana Buddhism teaches, the mind is the entire Dharma realm. This means the mind is not just my mind. It is the living, dynamic essence of the whole universe. There is no boundary between me and not me when we live in the realm of the true mind. When there is no more duality, no separation. Everything is of the same nature. Living from the true mind, we no longer see this body as the boundary of the self. We are not just flesh and breath, or passing thoughts. We are the sound of birds outside the window. We are the wind that brushes against the bamboo. We are the tear rolling down a stranger's cheek. All of it is us, because there is no separation. And precisely because we no longer see ourselves as apart from the world, when we witness suffering in others, compassion arises naturally. There is no need to force ourselves to be kind. The true mind responds with boundless compassion like a mirror reflecting everything without judgment. It is so vast that it doesn't need to speak of love, it is love. In contrast, living from the deluded mind, we shrink into a tight, narrow self. Everything outside the body becomes other, becomes object. And because the other does not belong to us, we either want to possess it or push it away. From this arises conflict, fear, craving, and endless suffering. The deluded mind knows only me and mine. When something touches the me, we react. When something threatens mine, we get angry or fearful. But this me is only a temporary cluster of body and thought, it has no real substance. It is like a passing cloud, it has a shape, but no core. To cling to that illusion as if it were the truth is the root of our confusion. So, the question, where is the mind, is not to locate a place. It is to dissolve the false idea that the mind can be contained in form. Only when we stop searching and let go of clinging does the true mind reveal itself. It has never left us, it has only been covered by our constant noise. How to return to the true mind. Mindfulness of Amitabha Buddha as the shortcut. In the vast ocean of samsara, we are like travelers lost in a thick fog. We know there is light, yet we cannot see the path. We've heard of the true mind, yet the false mind covers it like clouds over the moon. Years of studying sutras, listening to teachings, and practicing meditation, still, the heart remains restless, thoughts chaotic, afflictions persistent. So where is the way back? The answer lies in a method both profound and accessible, mindfulness of Amitabha Buddha's name. When you recite, Namo Amitabha Buddha, you are not just repeating a name, you are tuning your mind to the frequency of Pure Land. Each repetition is a call inward, an invitation to silence, or returning to clarity. The miracle lies not in the sound itself, but in the single-minded presence it cultivates. Why is this called the shortcut? Because among all spiritual practices, this is the only one that doesn't demand complete purity or deep understanding before you begin. You can still have anger, greed, and delusion, and still recite. You might not grasp the Dharma's subtleties, but you can still recite. You might be surrounded by the noise and demands of daily life, and yet, still recite. As long as you remember the Buddha's name, the fog begins to lift. When thoughts arise, don't resist them, and don't follow them either. Just come back to the Buddha's name. Like muddy water that clears when left undisturbed, the mind too will settle. No need to suppress, no need to fight, simply abide in the sound of the Buddha's name. A calm mind gives rise to a calm world. When you reach the state of one-pointed mindfulness, where distractions cease, the pure mind shines forth. And in that stillness, the true mind reveals itself, luminous, boundless, untouched. The true mind is not far. It has never left you. But because we never stop running, we never see it. Like water rippling on a lake, it cannot reflect the moon until it becomes still. So too, only when the mind is quiet can we recognize what's always been there. Some may ask, I've recited for years, but my mind is still scattered. Does that mean I lack affinity? Absolutely not. Reciting is not about becoming skillful, it's about returning home. There's no need to rush. All you need is sincerity and constancy. Even if you walk slowly. As long as you're facing the right direction, you are getting closer. Mindfulness of Amitabha is not for seeking blessings, avoiding misfortunes, or curing illness. Those may be secondary benefits. The true purpose is much deeper, to purify the heart, and return to the source. Each Namo Amitabha Buddha is not a mere chant, it is the voice of your original nature calling you back. It is not superstition, nor ritual. It is the bridge from illusion to awakening. It is both simple and infinite. Humble, yet powerful enough to liberate countless beings. So if you are tired of endless seeking, if you feel overwhelmed in a world full of knowledge but lacking wisdom, try returning to the simplest practice. Recite the Buddha's name. You don't need to understand everything. You don't need to be a sage. All you need is deep faith, sincere aspiration, and steady practice. And one day, you will realize everything you ever longed for, peace, clarity, and freedom, was always within one sacred name. Amitabha. 6. Conclusion, the mind is the Buddha. The Buddha is the mind. There is a simple truth, so simple that we often overlook it, your mind is the Buddha. Not someday, not after years of practice. But here and now, if only you stop and see. We often search for the Buddha in statues, temples, scriptures, as if the Buddha is something outside, distant, and hard to reach. But the Buddha has never been outside your own mind. Every word of Dharma, every sutra recorded, points to just one thing: returning to your true mind. Because the mind is the root, and the Buddha appears from it. When the mind is clouded by delusion, the world feels chaotic. People become enemies. Life feels uncertain. But when the delusion lifts, nothing actually changes, except how you see. And that shift changes everything. You don't need to find the mind, you simply need to stop chasing illusions. The false mind is made of constant thinking, judging, clinging, comparing. It's restless, always pulled by the world. This is the mind we live with every day, but it's not our true self. The true mind is ever present, unborn and undying, still and clear. It doesn't arise or pass away. It's not inside your body or outside, it's the ground of being, the space in which all things appear and dissolve. To live from that mind is to come home. Practicing the Dharma is not about learning more, it's about letting go. Letting go of the noise. Letting go of the masks. Letting go of the belief that you are separate, broken, or incomplete. Every time you see an angry thought and don't feed it, you return a little. Every time you breathe with awareness, without judging, you return a little more. Let go of a piece of illusion, and a piece of truth will shine through. Let go completely, and what remains is not emptiness, but radiance. Not a blank, but a fullness too vast for words. You will no longer seek enlightenment, you will simply live it, in every step, every breath. In that moment, you'll understand. There is no difference between you and the Buddha. Not because you became something new, but because you stopped believing you were something else. This mind of yours, without delusion, without striving, is vast like space, open like the sky. It doesn't grasp, it doesn't push, it simply is. It allows everything, holds everything, needs nothing. It is the mirror of reality. To live from this place is not to escape life, it is to finally live it. To love without fear. To walk without resistance. To speak with silence behind your words. A message to you, a fellow traveler returning home. If you've made it this far, perhaps something in you has begun to stir. Not because of clever words, but because something ancient inside you has been touched. It's not new, it's something you've always known, but forgot. The Dharma journey is not here to teach you how to live. We're not giving you techniques. We're not promising transformation. We're simply holding space, inviting you to return to the stillness that's always been there. Each story, each reflection, each pause in our videos is not for adding more to your mind, it's for unburdening, for remembering, for reconnecting. If this video helped your heart soften, helped your mind rest even a little, then let that be a quiet turning point in your path. And if you feel moved to do so, please subscribe to this channel. Not out of obligation or habit, but as a sacred gesture to yourself. I am returning home. You don't need to leave a grand comment. Even a single dot symbol is enough to say, I am here. Thank you for walking this far with us. But know this is not the end. It is only the beginning of a life lived in presence, from now on. See you again, in the stillness between breaths.